Chinese stocks are off to a bad start this week as the country deals with its worst outbreak of COVID-19 in 2 years. Shares on both the mainland and the financial hub of Hong Kong are down more than 2%. That's after the government reported more than 27,000 new coronavirus infections in one day. Factories have been forced to close because of the rising cases, and investors fear officials will keep millions of people under lockdown to curb the spread of the disease at the expense of consumer spending. High inflation for both households and businesses are also bringing down sentiment. Producer prices rose more than 8% in March, while the cost of consumer goods rose more than 1.5%, the most in 3 months. Authorities continue to defend their zero COVID strategy despite the economic cost.
The dynamic zero COVID approach we've chosen is to do everything possible to reduce the impact of COVID-19 on people's health and security, while balancing epidemic prevention with normal life and production, balancing epidemic control with economic and social development.
Now, for more, let's hear from business groups representing companies from the US and Europe that do business in China. They say extended lockdowns in major cities like Shanghai could have a lasting effect on the country's economic prospects.
If China's current COVID restrictions remain in place for the next year, nearly half of our companies will reduce investment. So obviously, this is still too early to tell, but companies are in a wait and see mode at this point. And if this current lockdown or restrictions continue for extended period of time, I think there will be an impact on investment decisions going forward.
There are many obstacles. First of all, most of the companies based here in Shanghai, they simply had to close down operations, so they cannot manufacture. So they have to ask for a special permission to operate, but usually those permissions are given only to very special companies in essential industries like chemical, food, or pharma. So, and if they can operate, they only can operate in a closed loop, which means the workers have to stay on site. They cannot leave, so they are sleeping there. If you are allowed to operate, the other big challenge is the supply chains, because first of all, it is difficult to get the raw materials. And secondly, it's very difficult to get your goods delivered to the customers because there is a lack of truck drivers. Either they are also in lockdown or they don't have the requested COVID tests plus all the permits you need. It's a kind of logistics black hole, you know, which is caused by all the restrictions for the truck drivers for sure. And they cannot go to the surrounding provinces for cargo pickup. And that makes it very, very difficult. And I'm sure that if this lockdown continues for a couple of weeks or even months, because we do not know how fast the government is able to contain this pandemic, it will have quite an impact on business revenues and profits.